So, this was a terrible idea, but I'm going to work on a original PS3 that I picked up at the Vintage Computer Federation swap meet. I said that we were going to work on a PS3 next year, and we still will, but those are all broken. This one, I think, is not going to break. All the fat ones that I've had so far, besides one, have broken, and I just got this. And I'm worried that it might overheat, so I'm just going to put new thermal paste on there. It still has its warranty sticker, so I've got to get that off. That's going to be just relatively easy. This thing's way past its regular warranty time, so there's not really much point in having it there besides just looking nice. There's a little spacer in there. Oh well. The little rubber gasket. There it is. There it goes. And there's a screw inside of here. The little hole that's left. There's a screw. Oh, it's not a regular Phillips. It's a security screw. Those suck. That's that out. I don't know if that got in frame because I'm not going to get up and check. This whole panel lifts off, and then there's a bunch of screws all over the place here, and I think this lifts up. This is all still off of memory. I do have a guide next to me for all this. I'm only going to look at it until I don't remember something, or I think it's a good idea, which will be when I actually get to the difficult stuff. Thanks, Dad. I don't know how I'm going to fill this space. There's not really much interesting commentary to make about these things. They're just the slims are easier to open because all the screws are on the bottom, and then the top just lifts off, and they're less likely to break because they don't have all the lovely issues that came from the video processor and the earlier models. I think the Xbox and the PS3 both suffered video-related problems because their video processors were put together poorly. Get out, damn you. I think I might be removing screws that are unnecessary to remove. Multiple different lengths. That's good to know. I don't like that. That's not good. Oh, there's an S right there. Duh. S means small. That means when I go back and put this thing together, I should know. Oh, S means small. So I think this lifts up, and that's just about all I remember. I'm going to look at the guide now. I think it's been a good 2 years since I've opened one of these. Let me just make sure this is, yeah, this is the CECHL01, which I think is less prone to hardware failure. Yeah, I know, guy. Thanks. Oh yeah, I'll list the guide for this in the description of the video because I don't know if any of you have a PS3, but I think they'd be, well, if it works, it's good to take them apart. This is going to be two things: me struggling against YouTube ads and me struggling against brittle plastic. Dude, hurry up and get to the actual disassembly. It's been 2 minutes. Does this lift up to the back? Apparently it might. So something's just keeping it from opening it. I could probably fast forward this bit if it gets very slow. Alright, I guess there's a little thing that I'm supposed to push on in here. I don't really want to do that. That could break the plastic, but I don't really have much of a choice. Oh, it's just a little clip. There we are. That's the top panel off, and this is our Blu-ray drive. That's our power supply, and there's dust. Obviously there's going to be dust. This is from 2008. So I'm going to put these over here with the top. I need another container. Just trying to jog my memory here. This is a power supply cable. That's a power supply cable. More of these are power supply cables. I don't want to damage the DVD and Blu-ray drive because I've got a game that I would like to play later, and I've also got to remember where I put my screwdriver. I hope these bolt into the power supply and have a retaining bit at the end so that I don't have to deal with that. No. In fact, they do not. Great! From what I saw from paging through the video about 30 minutes before this, it is relatively simple. It's got, these are bolted in, this is bolted in. The hard drive can just easily come out with one screw. And then the board, after getting all the screws out, lifts up. There are 2 chips, and they are covered in thermal paste. And the heatsink is relatively simple compared to the original model, which is certainly better because I remember taking the original model apart and those were painful because they actually hurt and also kind of just not fun. That should be the most of it. There's just, there we go. Alright, power supply's out. It's got 2 prongs, which I guess hook into the power supply, which is neat. I learned a little something last night because I was trying to use the system and the mechanical hard disk was failing. It was not booting into the system quick because these things use a modified version of Linux. You can format your own hard disks. I formatted an SSD to run, so I've got system software on here, and it just runs a PlayStation with an SSD. I think it doesn't improve like the graphical performance because it's storage, but it improves download speeds by incredible numbers. Even on Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is pretty slow. I gotta take out, I guess, the Wi-Fi antenna. I think this is the Wi-Fi antenna. I just want to pop this bit off there, move some of that dust. Yeah, it's got some dust bunnies. I blasted this with air earlier, and it appears that I got most of the bad stuff out, but it's not that removed completely. It's just one ribbon cable. So, good. Door comes up. Ribbon cable pulls out. That's our drive removed, and there's no screws, surprisingly. So here is the main board. I don't know how to remove this. I forget. Actually, I have a hunch. These hold it to the heatsink, and then the rest around are either ground or... Next, what do you want? And I forgot what I was going to say. Just randomly start unscrewing things. You'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. It's not a good method, but it sometimes is effective. Like here. I also think that my allergies are getting a little nasty. So I'm going to assume that all the ones with arrows hold this down. So that would be here, 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 there, that, there, and there. And there might be a hidden one. I think that's just ground. Get another container after this to hold these retaining bits. That goes in there with that. It would be a really great idea to organize these when you're taking these apart, or if you're at the club, I guess I'd have things to help you organize them, because there's so many different little parts and screws, and if you forget where they are, then you're kind of out of luck. So, 2 screws for the drive caddy, which I should grab another thing for that, and also check if my camera battery's bad. Nope, still good. 13 minutes in. We got RAM cases, we got... What? Oh, metal dish. Thanks. Yep, metal dish. I don't really know if that was that important to take out like that. I'm just going to keep the screws stuck inside of this little bit. Oh, more dishes, thanks. So this goes here. This is weighted. So this screw here can go in the bigger dish. I might need a bigger screwdriver because these are stuck and are just as tight as they were from the factory. Hand-eye coordination is not that great here. Yeah. spots labeled M are these little weird ones. Oh, that's stiff. Hope I didn't break any plastic, because these are metal bits put into plastic standoffs, because this entire case is made of plastic. And I do not want to do any further work to this than to just repaste it, maybe do some more dusting, and then put it back together and play games on it, because school's over and I'm going to take a break from doing a lot. So that should be just about everything important out. I don't think the ground is that important. And this cable, can this cable please come out? I don't want to rip it. Ooh. Two-finger pull. Two-finger pull does it. So this should just lift. No, the metal shielding lifts. So, metal shielding comes out. Now what? I'm going to put that off to the side. I think that's just the thermal paste that's holding it down now. Oh, yeah, that's thermal paste. Or not? What? I'm a little confused. Alright, I'm removing the ground connection. Is there anything else that's holding this in? Oh, it's ancient thermal paste. Oh dear. So, the board is being held down by thermal paste from 2008, which is hardened and turned into a glue. I can, sir, please. What? Oh, wooden spatula. There we go. That's a healthy thud. And there's our cooling blocks, and almost everything on this board, which I should replace the CMOS battery, because that's been dead since 2008. The paste is a little gloppy, and it's covered in dust. I should get out my toothbrush and just start going at it. I don't think that there's any more screws holding this down, so I can just lift this metal shielding up. There we go. And here's all the stuff in the bottom, which is 2 heatsink blocks and a giant freaking fan, which I hear that people blame some of the hardware failure on not enough airflow, but if you got literally a wind turbine, huh? WD-40. So I think these should just lift out, you know. Alright, that comes out there. This one comes out here. I'm going to take the blocks out and use a little tiny portable vacuum that I've got to remove all the dust, because I do not want this thing to have any issues whatsoever. If there's a problem with airflow, I don't want it to get too hot and fry itself, because I spent too little money to want to have it overheat. And why would, if I spent money that is a small amount on this, why would I think, oh, I should actually put some effort into this to clean it out and make sure that it doesn't overheat? I've had two break. One, I don't remember why it broke, but it has the yellow light of death, which is a problem caused by the reality synthesizer, which is the video processor for these things. It's got a really silly name, which I love that name. There we go. The fan's out. It's just a really simple fan. And then these two cooling things, and there's nothing much in there. You're serious? Gotta be joking. All that effort, and there's not any goop left over in those fins. I'm a little disappointed. Shouldn't be, though. I should be more relieved. Now, I've got a paper towel with isopropyl alcohol. I'm going to wipe the old thermal paste off of the circuit board. This is the worst stuff I've ever seen. Ew. It's getting everywhere. That is terrible. Thanks for another paper towel, Dad.
Spudger.
Wait, Spudger? Oh, I'm blind. If I can clean these up a little bit more, I can show off the little chips. Because they've got really weird names. The video system is called the Reality Synthesizer, RSX, I think. And it's actually a custom NVIDIA chip, which is similar to the NVIDIA GTX 78000 and the CPU, which is a IBM PowerPC chip, is custom, and it's called the cell processor, which, according to multiple people, is the reason why people didn't really like developing for the PS3, because it was so damn complicated. I have yet to figure out what makes it that complicated, because I don't really do programming that much. But I mean, if they were to allow you to use a different OS on here than a proprietary one, then I think it would be a really cool computer. So I'm going to see if I can get this into the camera. There it is, the two chips, the video card and the CPU. These are ridiculous. It's also got a bunch of these. These are actually capacitors. There's some people who blame their system failing due to these NEC tokens, because they fail and they're crap. I have not had a system have a problem thanks to those yet. It is just the RSX that has keeled over and died on almost every single one I own, besides one that I have sitting on a shelf. Editor, if this is boring, please speed up the footage, maybe include some goopy stock music, or some licensed music, because we don't get any money from this. We, I mean me. My channel's dead enough to the point that I don't really have any ad revenue at all. So I think that should be pretty clean now. You just have one last pass with isopropyl alcohol. I'd say I'm not leave this out. The instant I start saying something about this, cut. Yeah, thank you. So, these are clean. I'm surprised that they were clean to begin with. I'm going to get out my vacuum. Oh, I'm going to disturb Max though. I've got my cat. He's sleeping in a orange chair. Hi Max. Behind me. I don't think he likes it that I moved it. But I don't really have much of an option here because I'm using the space for electronic repair. And our kitchen counter is where we eat food. Never blow on electronic components because moisture, your mouth is filled with liquid. You are a liquid producing factory and you should definitely not do that. I only do it because I don't know what I'm doing and I bought these with my own money, so if I feel that if I have any consequences, I'm going to feel like crap. But everything's fine because it's not your stuff. I'm just removing a little bit of dust. I'm a neat freak in here. So now I'm going to start putting stuff back together in the spots that they were. First with this fan, which I gotta figure out. Oh boy, what way were these in before? It's like a similar thing, like is it a python? So, object should go in there like that. No, these things are really annoying to kind of line up, especially if you're bad at lining things up. That was a nothing sentence, but I'm not going to elaborate on that but. Haha. Hee. The kind of awful humor that you'd expect from the main guy of Computer Repair Club. Now, where does this thing reconnect? There's a teeny tiny little groove in here. Am I just silly? I'm not going to say stupid. Already got some problems with self-esteem. I think it slots in from the back. Yeah, there we go. I've got it. I got it. I've still got it. Heck yeah. So, does this go in here? Yep. Screw goes in this spot. There we go. And then here as well, I gotta make sure that this isn't permanently caught underneath because I actually want to use this. And now is the fun part. Reassembling it completely. And why is it the fun part? Because if you've got bad memory, you're going to forget everything. And guess who doesn't remember what he's done? Me, a little bit. Alright, so this is stuck down. These are wobbly, which they're supposed to be, because that's how they are on every single version. I've got to slap this shield back in, which goes here, like so. So now we've got room for all the goodies. We just quickly dust a little bit. Just get back now. Boy, oh boy, I hate dust. I think these electrolytic capacitors are fine. Dad, could you do me a favor and, well, get me a CMOS battery? Thanks. Ooh. That was easy. It's a 2032. I'm actually kind of hurt. But I got the CMOS battery out. These things just keep the time when the system's off. I think this one was starting to leak, which is good because I got to it when I did, which is now. For the thermal paste of choice, I don't really have one. I do have Arctic MX4, which is a little bit more budgety, I guess. I'm not too sure. Do we not have any CR2032 batteries? Energizer? That's nice. Thanks. So, negative end, positive end, I'm not too sure, but I'm just going to pop it in. Alright, we've got a battery back. So, when I turn this off and move it to a different spot in the house, it keeps the battery. Now for the thermal paste, which is going to be really fun. I'm going to do it straight onto the chips instead of on the heat block. So I'm going to maybe do an X. No, I'll do a blob straight in the center. So here on the RSX, I'm going to add a generous amount because these things get hot. And on the cell processor, because they also get hot. Yep, that should be more than enough. So I'm going to turn this back over. I hope I didn't forget anything. And now we're going to start reassembling, ever so slowly. Okie dokie. Here we go. USB ports in first. Oh, nope, I've got to slide it in this way first. Then all the IO lines up, lines up. Thank you, me. So, board's back in. Everything's all gooed up. Let me just quickly look for what I'm looking for, which is this shield. So now, we put this back on. There. That made me feel a little silly. Got the screw dish. These doing out there? Now, these big ones I'm going to put in, and then I'm going to do these, which, oh, I should maybe do these first. This one goes with this one. Yep. And this one goes with this one. Yep. Alright. So I've got to do these up evenly. So this one goes in here, do that a couple times. Is it stuck down? Yes, it is. It's good to do a crisscross pattern. Why? Spreads out the thermal paste evenly. You gotta get the goop to yeah. There's probably someone who has a better explanation about that than I do. So now I do this here. This here. This one here. Process repeats. Just as like a little bit of funny fact, not funny fact, just fun fact. These things used to have a feature called Other OS, I think, and it allowed them to run a different operating system, like the PS2 did, and then they removed it. Why? I'm not a Sony person. And I think there was a lawsuit. This is going off of information I saw on the Wikipedia page when I was looking at specs for the cell processor and the RSX, because they've got those listed. And I know Wikipedia isn't exactly the greatest resource for anything and everything, but for computer stuff, they're pretty spot on regarding architectures and hardware problems. Apparently they've gotten better at removing bits of information that are incorrect. Well, I think they have. I could be very much wrong. Don't take my word for it that they're better. Okay, the first part coming back together. Oops. 2 M screws go in there. Where do I have a regular screw? Screw goes in here. Some really handy markers with arrows on them, which for a Sony device, these are kind of easy to take apart. Easy in air quotations, because that not really. Sometimes yes, but not really. Excuse me. Yeah. So now I should be missing some screws. Should try to put this back in. This one right here that has a ground screw that goes in this spot. We'll just quickly get that in. There we go. Just gotta make sure this is held in really well. This thing, not that much. I'm going to put in my SATA caddy now, which I think would be easier to put in like this, there.
that spot? I don't remember.
So amongst everything that went in, so this thing went here. There was no screw that went there. So then I should be good to put in this tiny one right there. On. Let me just check that video real quick, because it's got a picture of the board. Let me just scale this up to, instead of 720p, give me HD so I get a better image. This is 720 because I don't exactly have a good camera. I'm not gonna use my phone. Okay, last screw goes here. Nothing goes in this spot besides this screw. So I think I'm pretty much good. I can then strap down everything that I've had in here before. So that would mean I can put in the power supply next. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh no. Wi-Fi. Preferably not destroy it in the process of putting it back in. Oh dear. Oh, no, I got it together. So this Wi-Fi antenna gets stuck down using this screw here. Alright, I'm getting back into it. This goes here. I believe that's the fan. Hopefully I didn't break anything here. So this would go like that on the board, but I've got to put the DVD-ROM, not the DVD, kind of a DVD-ROM drive. It's a Blu-ray drive which has a DVD laser on it, according to my sources, which are just internet stuff. Please go in. Yes. Good. That should be in. So now, I think it goes here. I think that's wrong. Would it go in this spot? No, it would not. Alright, I was right. Okay, that's good. Phew! Disaster averted. Not exactly quite yet, but
I'm getting there. This goes in here. Yep. I think these go underneath, and now I've got to, preferably not, I should have popped that out and then set this thing on top of the pins. Alright, there we go. Put my thermal paste back because I don't need that anymore. This power supply cable goes in here. I might want to dust that later. I don't really want to. So now I just apply screws to all of these. First with this one. I do not know where this goes to. Yeah, I just figured out where it goes to. Goody. Still got it. Oh. Oopsie. Is this screw hole that goes into? Nope. So I guess these use these smaller ones. Oh, the Blu-ray drive does not get stuck down with any screws, which surprises me, because I think you'd want to do that. But I guess the powers of friction work. Oh no. You know what, I just figured out what it was. The case screws hold this thing in, keep it from wobbling or whatever it does. Oh, and that's just great. Alright. This is the part where I have to disassemble it again. Oh, damn it. I don't know where that other one went, so I'll figure that out once I get this thing up and out. That is disappointing and very aggravating because that is probably lodged in the fan blade now. Nope. It's in the world's second least convenient spot. Let's see if I can rattle the other one out, because I don't know. There it is. There's that other screw. Great. Everything's back. Everything's fine. Nothing bad happened. Coping. Now I just gotta repeat that. Let's get down. think the Blu-ray drive should function. I was just wondering if it would work in the way it is, which it should, because that ribbon cable's stuck down pretty good. Unless if it doesn't, then I'm going to have to take this apart again. That's going to be fun. Take care of the annoying ones first that can fall in between everything. There we go. This tiny one, which goes in a very specific spot. That should be almost everything. I can put the top back on and then test it. Alright, that is a repasted PS3. Just one last step and some searching because I have potentially lost a screw. Nope, it's just stuck in my hard drive. I'll take care of that last. Remember how this thing gets apart. All this is starting to get on my nerves. Go back together. I thought that was hard. Oh. Good. Good. Gotta line everything up front again. It's caught in my shirt. And the small one goes in this spot, and then I'll just tighten them up. Alright, that one's tight enough. Best to not over tighten them, so then the plastic standoffs don't break, because they're going to get more and more brittle as time goes on. I don't know what I was doing there. Guess I forgot I had the screw in. part that goes on, which I think these clips go in this spot, along here. Slide on. Angle it up. There's a little screw that drops down in, and I need that. That almost fell in. This thing is not a piece of junk. This thing wants to go everywhere but the spot it's supposed to go into. Just have to use a bit that is smaller. Alright, that's down in its spot, so this shouldn't come loose at all. Rubber plug goes back in. I'm going to put this back in my screw kit. And then finally the hard disk goes in. Which is not a mechanical disk, it's an SSD. And there we go. That's how you do a PS3 repaste and dusting. And a bunch of other things. Now to test it. This is the testing space. I have the PS3 plugged in. It's got a red light. Yeah, there it works. It forgot what time it was, but I can just update that via internet, but it works. It worked before, but now it works better.